if you're anything like me, and you struggled with arranging tracks, so like you can get a beat together, but you kind of struggle with putting a full track together, an arrangement, I think this video will be helpful. One of the best pieces of advice that I've gotten was to reference pro tracks more in my workflow. And you can reference pro tracks for a variety of things, but we're talking specifically about referencing tracks for arrangement. You can also reference them for like mixing and mastering, that kind of thing too. But this is more geared towards arranging like a loop into a full song. So the idea is that you're kind of copying, the arrangement of a song that you like, and then referencing that arrangement for your track. And this is the best way that I've found to do it, the most helpful. So I'll just kind of show you my process here and what I do. So first thing I do is grab a pro track that I like, and I have a few here. I'll just drag one in here. These were MP3s that I downloaded. You can also just kind of like record them as they stream if you want to do it that way, but just know if you do it that way that you're not going to want to reference that recording for like mixing and mastering. You want to get the actual MP3, like buy the actual MP3. So I'll just grab like, let me see here. Grab this Satin Jackets song. So this is a Satin Jackets song. I'm going to use this for reference. Okay, so first thing you do is insert some MIDI tracks below your reference track. This is where you're going to do most of your work, and you're basically just going to start putting clips together that represent different elements in the song. So before we do that, I'm going to want to make sure it's the right tempo, that my tempo set to the reference track tempo. So let me just drag this in a little bit so it starts on the downbeat. All right, so I can see that just looking at the transients that my tempo is a little fast. So I'm just going to adjust it down a little bit. There might be other ways you do this too, but this is the way that I do it. I just kind of line up the transients. Turn on my metronome. I think it's right around 110 maybe. Just slightly fast, and I can see the transients are starting to get away from my grid. I think it's 111. Stay in the middle of the road. Okay, that's good. All right, so I have my tempo set to my reference track. We're good to go there. The next thing you want to do is start laying down these MIDI tracks. So you're going to want to just kind of listen critically to the song and really try to hear all the elements in it. So I'm just going to play that intro again. All right, so first thing I hear is I have a kick. So I'm just going to name this my kick and pull it across. I know it's at least 8 bars or whatever. So I'm going to call this my, do that again. This is my quarter kicks. All right, so I also hear some some kind of plucky sound. So I'm going to do like a rhythmic pluck, I'm going to call it. I also hear like a drone sweeping up. I call this my drone. And when you name these, or I'm going to call it ramping up. When you name these, just try to be descriptive so it's helpful when you reference it later. What I like to do is I'll name my actual track something kind of generic like kick, pluck, drone, and then be a little bit more descriptive in the clip to tell me what that instrument is actually doing, right? So here I know the kicks are on the quarter note here. The pluck is like a rhythmic kind of pluck, and then the drone is ramping up, so it tells me what it's actually doing. All right, then I also hear some like rhythmic kind of drone here as well. So I'm gonna just call it another drone. Rhythmic. That should be good, rhythmic drone, right?
Stay in the middle.
All right, so we have our vocals coming in at bar 4. So I'm just gonna say, first verse starts here. I call this my vocal. And I'm thinking that this is probably where a new section starts. So it's really just like a 4-bar intro. So I'm just gonna make my clips that size so I can restart them if I need to. And I know these all restart, so I'm just gonna duplicate them.
Stay in the middle of the road at night.
All right, so I'm gonna just kind of skip ahead here and show you the finished product because it's gonna be really boring if I go through this whole thing. But if I were to sit here and do this for the whole track, it would probably take me about a half hour or so. And I think it's just it's a really good exercise, not only to put this arrangement together, but it kind of trains your ear to listen to like every element of the song. So it's a good kind of critical listening exercise. But let me show you kind of the logistics of what I do next. So like after I put this all together, you get some, then, you can save the project as like ghost arrangement, whatever. And I have all my ghost arrangements in one folder. So if you come over here, I have all my Ableton sets here, and then my ghost arrangements are at the top. So I'm just going to pull one open here for you. This is the complete one that I did for this song. I'm not going to save that. So again, you can hear this is that track, right? And then you can see my ghost arrangement down here. So let me just expand these a little bit. So you can see I was doing the same thing here. So I had rhythmic pluck. I was even a little more descriptive when I originally did this. So filtered, just kind of showing that it was like filtered out, not the full frequency. Soft kick. So as I went through the track, I realized that they didn't keep that kick sound the whole time. They kind of transitioned to a harder kick. So I'll just show you what that sounds like.
Across the sky. We'll go along.
So you can hear that the kick gets a little bit more high frequency. So you might like learn stuff like that as you go through the track and then rename your clips that you put in before, so you can see that how it evolves. And you can see I have the same like kind of quiet drone, and then there's like a light bass that comes in. The shaker gets introed here. I noted like where the swells were, yada yada yada, so you can kind of see how the whole thing progresses. And then what I also like to do is this is what most people do too when they're referencing arrangements, is like put in these markers at the top So intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, etc. So this is kind of taking it all a step further, so you can see all the instruments like laid out in a visual format. The nice thing about this too, so what I do is I group all of my MIDI tracks, and again, these are just empty clips, right? They're just named. I group them all into one group and name it like Ghost Arrangement. And then what that does is if you're ever working on a different project, you can just grab that Ghost Arrangement track and pull it into your project and use that as a reference point. And obviously at that point, it doesn't matter what the tempo is because it's just MIDI. So I'll just show you what I mean. So I'm just going to open a new live set. And then let's say, and this is a pretty like standard format, nothing crazy going around here on here arrangement wise. But if I wanted to do kind of like a pop, kind of poppy track with like this sort of straightforward arrangement, I might go into my sets, go into my Ghost Arrangements, pull in that, just that, so you can see I'm in that folder, that project folder, and then within the project, so this is the project name, within that project I have all my tracks, and I can just pull in that whole group, that Ghost Arrangement group, and now I have, you know, the entire arrangement laid out for me, and then I can start, I can start building my song off of that. And then you can see like I have my other Ghost Arrangements all in the, like here's one I did with the Ben Bomer track. So like you can pull in that, wait, that wasn't the right one. Here's my Ghost Arrangement group within that project file. So if I wanted to reference, this track, I could just pull in that Ghost Arrangement. So yeah, like I said, I hope that was useful. As you do this more, again, you'll continue to gain more critical listening skills, and then you'll also build up a library of Ghost Arrangements that you can just quickly and easily pull in to reference while you're putting your tracks together. So thanks for watching.